Every single day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you drift off to sleep, there's one voice you hear more than any other. It's not your boss, your friends, or even your family. It's you. The ongoing conversation inside your mind, the words you whisper to yourself in quiet moments, the commentary that plays on repeat when no one else is around. But here's the real question. What is that voice saying? Is it lifting you up or breaking you down? Because every time you tell yourself, I'm not good enough, I always mess things up, or I'll never succeed, you're reinforcing a belief that was never true in the first place. You're building mental walls, brick by brick, that keep you from stepping into your true potential. Today, it's time to break down those walls and start building something new. Today, we break the cycle of negative self-talk for good. Let's start at the beginning. What exactly is negative self-talk? It's that persistent internal dialogue that criticizes, doubts, and undermines you, often without you even realizing it's happening. It's the voice that whispers, I'm a failure, after a setback. The one that insists, no one cares what I think, when you're about to share your ideas. It's the one that quietly prods, why even try? When a challenge appears on the horizon, these thoughts can seem harmless, just fleeting moments of insecurity. But in reality, they're powerful. Over time, they shape your emotions. They dictate your actions. They chip away at your confidence little by little until you start to believe them. And the most insidious part? Most of the time, this internal sabotage happens just below the surface. So familiar, so ingrained, you don't even notice it's there. But where does this voice come from? It doesn't just appear out of thin air. It's shaped over years, molded by your experiences, your upbringing, and the world around you. Maybe it was a harsh word from a teacher, a parent's disappointment, a friend's betrayal, or a mistake that you just can't forget. With every criticism, every moment of self-doubt, the voice grew louder. Over time, it became the soundtrack to your life, always playing in the background, quietly undermining your confidence. But here's the truth. Your past doesn't get to write your future, not unless you let it. You are not defined by the mistakes you've made, the words of others, or the fears that cling to old memories. You can change your inner dialogue. You can rewire your mindset. You can choose a new story. So how do you do it? How do you silence the inner critic and find a voice that supports you? Here are 3 powerful steps you can start using today. First, name the voice. Give it an identity separate from your own. Maybe it's the critic, or the doubter, or even a silly name that makes you smile. Whatever you choose, recognize that voice for what it is. An old story, not your truth. When that inner critic pipes up, acknowledge it. That's just the critic talking. By naming it, you create distance. You take back the power. Second, challenge the thought. When a negative idea pops up, I'll never be good enough, I'm always messing up, pause and ask yourself, is this really true? What evidence do you actually have? Most of the time, you'll realize it's just fear, not fact. Think about it. Would you speak to a friend the way you speak to yourself? Would you accept such harsh criticism from someone else? Probably not. So don't accept it from your own mind. Third, replace it with truth. Speak to yourself the way you would to someone you care about. Use affirming, empowering statements. Try, I am learning. I am growing. I am capable. Say them out loud. Let your brain hear a new voice, a voice of kindness, belief, and possibility. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Over time, you'll start to believe it. You'll build new neural pathways, new patterns of thought, and a new sense of self-worth. Imagine what your life could look like if you woke up each day with clarity, purpose, and genuine belief in yourself. Imagine facing challenges with courage, knowing that your inner voice is your greatest ally, not your worst enemy. It all starts with that quiet conversation inside your head. You're not broken. You've just been believing a story that doesn't serve you. But you hold the pen. You get to decide what comes next. So today, choose compassion over criticism. Choose growth over self-doubt. Choose to rewrite your story, not with fear, but with confidence, courage, and kindness. The journey won't always be easy, and the old voice might try to sneak back in. But every time you recognize it, challenge it, and replace it with truth, you take another step toward becoming the person you were always meant to be. Remember, you're not alone in this. Every person you admire, every success story you've ever heard, started with a decision to believe in themselves, to silence the critic, and become their own champion. You can do the same. Let this be your turning point. The day you stopped letting your inner voice tear you down and started using it to build yourself up. If this message speaks to you, remember that you're part of a community, one that's rising together, supporting each other, and rewriting the narrative of what's possible. Choose to speak to yourself with the same compassion, encouragement, and hope that you'd offer to a friend, because you deserve nothing less. Now take a deep breath. Listen to the sound of your own thoughts. And when you notice the old story creeping in, remember, you have the power to choose a new one. A story of strength, a story of growth, a story of ascent. Let's rise together.